And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the North Hollywood Hideout in Los Angeles, California for another episode of Front of House. Our guest today, the one and only Adrian Brannan.
You're a desert-dwelling mama with a heart of gold that's living in the city shores. It's getting old, but the coffee's good. Though the traffic makes me scream, I've gotta get back to them Texas plains, or I go insane. I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta have my sage and space. Well, I need the dust, the dirt, feel the wind on my face. I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta get out of this town. Well, I can't take any more of the tours go round. With my turquoise buckle, cowboy boots, custom hat, and my sparkly suit, drive a Cadillac, smoke cigarettes, and don't give a damn. Well, I'm Texas, tried and true, don't need a house, church, or a man. I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta have my sage and space. Well, I need the dust, the dirt, feel the wind on my face. I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta get out of this town. Well, I can't take any more of the tours go round. I'm a whiskey lover, mother's daughter, hell of a good time. Well, the Brannan traffic's where it's at come spring and fall time. Well, I shot a gunman once on the towers just for fun, but I kissed the sheriff twice, so he gave me back my gun. I drew lipstick on my wanted poster, didn't give a damn. Danced to jukebox music, a diner in White Sands. I'm a pistol packing, always laughing cowboy girl for sure. Now don't take any talk from all you prim and proper girls. But I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta have my sage and space. Well, I need the dust, the dirt, feel the wind on my face. I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta get out of this town. Well, I can't take any more of the tours go round. I'm a fake, bake, made up Barbie doll to them. Well, they don't like that I love the skin I'm in, but I've climbed on more than he's ever seen. Got time bronx running around and pent up desert dreams. Well, I'm a desert-dwelling mama, gotta have my sage and space. Well, I need the dust, the dirt, to feel the wind on my face. I'm a desert-dwelling mama, I've gotta get out of this town. Well, I can't take any more of the tours go round, and it's coming around.
Opening it up with the title track from the new record from Adrian Brannan. It's called Desert Dwelling Mama. Welcome to Front of House.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it is,
Woohoo.
believe me, it is my pleasure. Outlaw rock and roll sounds a lot different when a pretty girl's singing it. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you very much.
I mean...
So that means my lipstick isn't smeared? We're good?
No, this is great.
Because usually I leave a trail of red lipstick on each microphone. It's pretty bad.
That is actually, you're supposed to.
Okay, good.
It's mandatory in this place.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
No, I grew up on Waylon and Willie and Merle and...
All the good guys.
Yeah. And there just ain't that many women.
No, there's really not. It's amazing. It's really funny because when you kind of start talking to women who, quote unquote, want to do the outlaw country music thing, it's almost like we're a little scared because you might get in trouble for it. Because it's okay if like guys like Waylon and Willie, you know, kind of talk about, you know, getting thrown in jail and drinking too much and stealing cars and, you know, being an outlaw.
Right.
But if a girl does it, it's kind of like, oh, oh gosh, okay, so we're going to need you to sit down and make sure that, you're proper and appropriate. And
Well, more and more women are coming around now.
Oh, completely.
You need 7 hands to name all the outlaw country chicks out there right
absolutely.
now. What's happening? Why now?
Honestly, I think it's because women are becoming angry.
Good.
I do. I think it's because women have finally started saying, hi, we matter. We're not second-class citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably going to sound wrong to some people, but country music is kind of the last holdout in a lot of ways of the old school way of thinking about women. And
True.
Women have finally not girls, women have finally gone, hey, no, we make good music. We write good stuff. We make great music. Just because I wear a skirt when I do it doesn't mean that it's half the song that you could write. It's kind of cool to see these women get angry and go, you know what? We can do this. And we don't want to be recognized as, well, we're the female in country music. We're just in country music.
It's funny. It reminds me on the radio spectrum of that. Mm-hmm. I read an article in Rolling Stone Country about Nashville radio.
Ooh.
And all the R&R radio and records events that are not only 90% male, but most of these dudes pay to play.
Yeah.
It's pay to play.
Yeah.
So you want your song on the radio, some morning show DJ is going to grab your ass or make it. And I don't know. So country is like that. It is that last holdout.
Absolutely. And which the scary thing is that speaking from experience, when you tell somebody not to grab your ass, then you are in trouble. Then A, your song doesn't get played, but B, then I don't know if I can say the B word, but then you are a B word because you said, no, I'm not comfortable with that. So it's really hard because for women, you're not only going, here's my music, but you have to go, here's my music, but please don't touch my body.
Right.
And I've seen that in the cowboy industry as well, hugely. I mean, it's kind of amazing how far and how deep that is in every culture and community. And the cowboy world likes to go, oh no, we're the good guys. We had Gene Autry. We had, the Lone Ranger. He's wearing a white hat and he's coming to save the, the lonely widow out on the prairie. And it's like, no, just because you wear a white hat doesn't make you a good guy. Just because you make a woman walk on the inside of the sidewalk doesn't make you a good guy. I should probably walk on the outside of the sidewalk most of the time.
God bless Texas. Adrian Brannan is our guest today. The new record again called Desert Dwellin' Mama. Lots of things running around in my head. I want to talk to you about so much, but I really don't want to take away from the music. I'd like to hear another song.
All right. This is called Happy Ending. And happy ending, when you walk out of a supermarket, you're checking out and you look in the lines on both sides, the magazine racks. And there's all these magazines that are telling you, 15 ways to make him hot, 10 ways to look hotter, 13 ways to make your belly slimmer. And there's nothing that says top 10 ways to make yourself happy.
Okay.
There's everything about making everybody else happy, but there's nothing about just loving yourself and
Holy
being
shit.
Cool with you.
Right.
It's all about other people.
It's all about what they think of you.
It's all about what they think of you.
Right.
And I started thinking, well, what's one thing that really matters a lot to me? And it's carbs. I could use a little happy ending. Something that just might last. Well, I could use a little loving to make up for my past. A gentle touch, a sweet word, a hand held, and above all, a man I know loves all my flaws. I ain't perfect, but I'm pretty. I ain't from a big city, and the truck that I drive, well, it always breaks down. I ain't skinny, but if you let me, I can cook some mean gravy, and in the end, I think that stuff matters more. I could use a little happy ending, boy, that's for sure. Mama said I sure have kept me keeping on. I ain't perfect, but I'm pretty. I ain't from a big city, and the truck that I drive, well, it always breaks down. I ain't skinny, but if you let me, I can cook some mean gravy, and in the end, I think that stuff matters more. I could use a little happy ending, boy, that's for sure. I've been running around on the wrong side of town, and I'm tired of living the only lane. I've been running and you've been mistreated, abused, and I'm tired of being the lone lane. I ain't perfect, but I'm pretty. I ain't from a big city, and that gosh damn truck, oh, it always breaks down. I ain't skinny, but if you let me, I can cook some mean gravy, and in the end, I think that matters more. I could use a little happy ending, just one more happy ending. I could use a little happy ending, boy, that's for sure. I said, boy, that's for sure. I said, boy, that's for sure.
God damn. Adrian Brannan is our guest, front of house. That's a hit.
Oh, well, thank you. I really like carbs, if you couldn't tell.
That's a hit.
I'm really into biscuits,
Well,
particularly.
Biscuits and gravy, sure. No, I get that. But I think you're being self-deprecating.
You get the
when
deeper
you
meaning
say
of this
that.
song, which is
Yeah.
it's so funny because I just actually got back yesterday from a show up in Oregon, and it was a kind of a small town concert that was going up there in the middle of a really rural ranching community.
Mhm.
Amazing people. I mean, there's 500 people in the town, 300 some odd people showed up. It was a big thing for that community.
So I guess the barber shop was closed.
The barbershop was closed, and the main street was, there I don't even think there was a light in town. And it was just the most joyful, awesome place with the greatest people. Like, they were so excited to just come out and celebrate their community and their culture and who
That
they
is
are
so
as
cool.
people. But it was so funny because, like, every woman after that song comes up to me afterwards and goes, I didn't think about that. I'm always trying to do stuff for other people. You know, on the magazine stand, it's telling me how to make him happy, how to make them happy.
Right.
But what if I like my belly? What if I like the size of my thighs? What if I like carbs? What if I just like who I am and that's okay? And it's something that we don't ask our daughters, our friends, our girlfriends, our sisters, our mothers enough. It's like, well, do you like you? Because I like me and I like you too. And that should be okay.
I think it's funny that no one ever touches on this because I look at these articles all the time and they're like, 10 ways to find out he's cheating on you. Or would you look better in this?
Yeah, or how to wear Spanx for a certain dress.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not comfortable in it, why the heck are you wearing it?
And they're always at the eye level of little girls who that's what they see.
It is. And, you know,
And you probably in the grocery store, the most amount of time that you spend in any one place
you're standing
is
in
right
that spot.
there.
Absolutely. And our culture is telling all of these young women, you know, my goddaughter is 4. And I look at what she's growing up with. I look at who, you know, kind of the temperature of our world right now and how people talk about women, how they talk about young girls and what they expect out of them. And we expect them to do all of these great things while looking like a model that's airbrushed on a magazine cover when even the models that are on the magazine cover don't look like that. You know, we've demanded perfection out of imperfect humans, and maybe that imperfection is perfect. Maybe that's beautiful. Maybe we don't have enough of that humanity and that realness in our culture.
It's time that we recognize that and celebrate it.
I think so. And, it's funny. I didn't always get that. I think for years, and just in the past few years, especially on my social media, which for me is a way to connect with other women. And it's been a way for me to talk about things that matter to me and have a platform to talk to women and men about things that I think should be, identified issues that we address within our culture today. But within the past few years, I started looking at it and going, okay, am I being real here? Am I sharing what I actually believe, or am I sharing what I think they want to hear? And I think we do that in our life as well. Am I living how I want to live? Am I who I want to be? Or am I living how I think they want me to live? Whether that's your boyfriend, your husband, your dad, your mom, your coworkers. Are you actually you, or are you for them?
It's a good question. It's a hard question that people have to ask themselves. They might not like the answers.
No, I didn't like the answer when I saw it, which is kind of when I changed my thinking about social media, especially, and songwriting, quite frankly, as well, because within the cowboy music genre, oh my gosh, it's like you stick within one thing. And for me, as a female, as a woman in cowboy music, you're supposed to sing ranch wife songs.
You're supposed to cover Tammy Wynette over and over and over again.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be this one thing. And for me, it was kind of like, okay, do I especially with this album, with this record, it was, I sweated over it so much because it was terrifying to put out something that wasn't within the parameters of, this is a girl's album among cowboy music. And it's a little nerve-wracking to push outside of those bounds. Like you said, sing a Tammy Wynette song over and over and over again.
Tanya Tucker's okay, too.
Yeah.
But her
Dolly
name is
Parton
Tanya
is pushing it.
Tucker, yeah. You're a real cowgirl, though.
I think so. I guess so. I'm starting to realize that must actually be what I am. My dad's always called it being a cowboy girl.
A cowboy girl.
Okay. Because he never...
Because cowboy is the word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
it's a descriptive noun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I always I'm actually realizing what he was doing when we were growing up by saying that was going, it's okay. I'm not going to put you into this girl category. You're just a good cowboy. Yeah. I always kind of preach. So I always kind of go back and forth. Am I a cowgirl or am I a cowboy girl? I don't know. I think it's kind of a combination of the two.
Cowboy Girl would make a great name for an album.
It would.
Tuck that away, though.
Yeah. That's it. That's a good.
It's yours.
That's a good. Let's co-do it. Let's work on that one together.
Where'd you grow up?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I was born in Ventura, Southern California, and I was not raised.
A lot of cowboys in Ventura that a lot of people don't know about.
No, it's so funny.
Kentucky.
It's so funny how many people don't realize that California is this just hotspot of cowboys and the vaquero traditions. And
we were mentioned in a Hank Williams Jr. song right before South Alabama.
No, it's true. That area is kind of, especially within the cowboy world, it's kind of like, oh, you're from California? I'm so sorry, honey. And I kind of realized the last few years, I'm not. I love it down here. We live in an ag-centric world here. I mean,
yes.
This is what we're about here. It's just kind of easy to forget sometimes because we're so overtaken by Hollywood, I think. So I was born in Ventura, was raised overseas, Scotland, France, Switzerland, Ukraine, Nevada, Missouri, California.
Ukraine, not weak.
Yes.
Wow, Ukraine. How old were you when you lived in I always called it the Ukraine.
The Ukraine. And see, we've always just called it Ukraine. I'm not actually sure what the correct terminology is. So my dad was going to school in St. Andrews, Scotland. And he had this bright idea to study Russian. Because, I mean...
Smart now. They're going to own us, in
wait,
about
they
5,
don't
10
already?
Years. Yeah. It's real smart. Savvy. Savvy, your daddy.
Oh, and, actually the other day he and I went camping and he, let loose with this stream of just beautiful, beautiful Russian words. And I was sitting there going, I didn't realize that you still remembered this. And he kind of looked at me like, haha, I never lost it. And I was like, oh God, what does this mean? But he was studying Russian and we lived in Scotland at the time and he was studying counterterrorism. And it seemed like this genius idea to drive from Poland into Ukraine with your, 4 or 5-year-old daughter. I'll never forget this. So as we're crossing the border from Poland into Ukraine, we had this crazy contact. His name was Kapitanook. And he's like one of those guys that you see him in a movie and you go, I know you're going to like probably end up being a bad guy, but you're a good guy right now, but I'm not sure whose team you're on, but we're going to use you to get across the border. And to a little kid, it was like, ooh, this is exciting. This is exciting stuff. And, there's a waiting line of cars to get across that border. And I'll never forget, he goes, hang on. And he drives the wrong way up the opposite side of the road up to the checkpoint at 50 some odd miles an hour. Felt like 100. Slams on the brakes. Guys with big guns come out yelling at him. And he goes, David, put my dad's name is David. Kapitanook says, put Adrian's passport on top. And, I had even bigger cheeks then than I do now. And he says, go up and put her outside. And I walked up to him and I can't remember a thing anymore. But in Russian, apparently I said, hi, my name is Adrian. What's yours? And smiled at him. And they said, oh, they handed back the passport and they said, go ahead. And we went up the wrong way into Ukraine. And that was how we got across the border. So as a kid, it wasn't like, oh, let's walk down the sidewalk together to school, Adrian. It was like, let's go cross the border into Ukraine and we'll drink some vodka and you will be raised a real girl.
Oh my God. What was the country of origin of the passport?
I believe it was America. Yeah, it was the USA. So,
that was back when they respected us.
But
if you say that in perfect Russian, that makes sense because you're showing respect for their country and their language. And they're like, oh, they saw you as a little spy.
They probably,
if it was an American.
I think they kind of just they love kids over there and they cherish their children so deeply. Like, I'll never forget when it started raining. We were living with some amazing people that, very, very poor. And the rain came and we were working in the fields. We were cutting hay by hand with a scythe, actually. And they had big stacks of hay and they threw the little children into the stacks of hay so we wouldn't get wet because there's no medicine. If you get sick, you could die from it. And I'll never forget the older women were standing outside and my mom said, are you okay? Do you need to get into the hay as well? And they said, no, we've lived our lives. We're done. It's okay. We have to protect them. So I think they really, they cherish their children. And I think they was like, oh, it's this little blonde girl. Okay. Like, you can do whatever you want. I wish I'd have taken more advantage of it.
That is an amazing story.
It's a weird way of growing up. Whenever anybody asks me, where are you from? It's like, I don't know. Do you know? Can you tell me?
I bet there's no Russian word for cowboy because cowboy is an American concept. It's probably cowboy.
I don't actually know if there is or not, but I do know some guys that cowboy in Russia right now. Okay. There's guys from Montana and Wyoming that have gone over to do a project where they're showing that they can raise beef in Russia. I don't want to be a part of that because it gets cold over there. I'm like a fair weather cowboy. Like, now I want to live in California where it's nice and warm.
Adrian Brannan is our guest, front of house. You can see her online at buckaroogirl.com. Pick yourself up a record, and you're across all social media at Buckaroo Girl, right?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I gave up Snapchat a while ago, though, because I couldn't block the undesirables enough.
Okay. I don't think you need that one.
Yeah, I really dig Instagram, though. I really like it. It's a great platform. It's super fun. There's a lot of positivity on there. Sometimes you get on Facebook and
it's a lot more positive than Twitter.
Oh, Twitter's scary. Yeah. Oh, I get into trouble on Twitter, actually. I try and keep my nose clean on there just because... Yeah, you can get into a lot of trouble for riding a horse even on Twitter.
All right, we're going to get into all that stuff later. I want to hear another song.
All
Adrian
right.
Brannan, please. I'm really enjoying this.
Thank
you. You are front of house.
Was your black rock woman fancy, free and wild? You were the red-headed stranger. A sinner deserved to die. And when the time came running, I breathed life into you. But the coldness of the morning brought the whiskey razor cut through. And I swallowed every drop just to feel alive. If you find me, tell another. If you love her, say you will. The Polaroid told a story about the old and the new. You whispered my name. Nothing can ever be the same. I was your black rock woman, but the words dissolved like mist. You caught and spun me around, a violent beating dance, and I float above the heat just to feel something again. If I was brave, I'd run. If I was sick, I might steal the 45 and steal off into the night. Oh, Pat Garrett chased my midnight braid and fabled stories tell. And poor Bill Bonnie took your deserved ticket to hell. And I'm out here on the desert without your memory. The alkali and wind, well, they've washed my spirit free. I was your black rock woman, but the words dissolved like mist. You caught and spun me around, a violent beating dance, and I float above the heat just to feel something again. Was your black rock woman, was your black rock woman.
Wow. Let's talk about that song. You're walking a tightrope between ballad and anthem right there.
Anger. It's called Anger.
Yeah, that's fucking. That is angry. That is an angry fucking woman. But there's resolve.
There's a lot of resolve.
There's a lot of fucking resolve in that.
There's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of happiness in it too. Yeah, there's a lot of happiness. I was really scared to release that song, actually. It's a very identifying place within the cowboy culture. Like, you know who runs cows on the Black Rock. You know what that place is. And to say that is kind of like, oh, well, let me just sip my coffee and keep walking.
Fuck.
I think this is the favoriteest podcast I've ever done. Actually, probably favorite interview, bar none. This is awesome.
This is going both ways. You have an incredible command of the cowboy vocabulary.
I don't know.
In your song. I mean, tell me, what was that line about Pat Garrett and the 45?
Pat Garrett chased my midnight braid and fable stories tell, and poor Bill Bonnie took your deserved ticket to hell. It basically means that an outlaw from the Old West went to hell and was shot when you should be the one that's shot. It's a not too subtle hint about the fact that somebody doesn't deserve to be here, and that maybe, you know, Billy the Kid, William Bonney, you know, maybe he wasn't that bad of a guy. Maybe he's misunderstood, but you sure as hell weren't.
God damn it. Wow.
It's you know, it's funny, that song, I've said a little bit on like Instagram stories, which is kind of where I get to talk to people and be like, hi, so how's everybody doing today? You know, and I love getting stuff back from the folks that watch those because they get to be real and, you know, you're not at a show, so they're able to say a little bit more. But I never really said, hey, you know, this song is about abuse and assault and horrible things happening in life and being angry about it. And it's okay to be angry about it. And I've had so many women and men write me and go, that line about stealing a 45, I felt that. And that to me lets me know that it was a good thing I let that song out because other people feel that. And when other people feel that, you know it's right that you put it out into the stratosphere.
You're certainly onto something. And not only them feel it. I think everybody listening to this right now is like, oh, fuck. I feel this shit.
You know, it's funny. There's 2 songs on the record that my mom and dad just can't listen to. And Black Rock Woman is one of them. They just... You know, they go, we just are too close to what it is.
Sure.
And it was so sweet. I'll never forget. My mom took me aside and was like, I want you to know, I love this song. The song is beautiful. I can't listen to it. It's not that I don't love you and want to support you, but I can't listen to it.
Moms are moms and always will be.
Yes. They're a good thing.
So Adrian Brannan, our guest, this is what, your 5th record now?
Fourth. Yes, sir. Yeah, 4th record.
Wow.
And it's
when did you release your first?
I was 14.
God bless Texas.
So when I was 14, I'm a really weird person. I guess it's just kind of the base of everything. I wanted to learn how to play guitar. I started singing opera when I was pretty young, when we lived in Missouri.
I can hear that.
Which was really fun.
Where in Missouri? Did you live in Branson or something?
No, we were outside of Branson, Nixat.
Okay.
So we were, and it was a great childhood. The time that we spent there, you know, I lived in a teepee. I didn't live in the house. I was homeschooled. I got to float the river. We had like 30 horses at a time. It was ridiculous. It was a great childhood there. Loved singing opera. Absolutely adored it. I love the history behind, you know, Italian arias. I loved the anger. I love the passion. And, I love it when those women get angry and scream at the audience. It's just, ugh. But I decided I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. And my sister had this pawn shop guitar that she bought for like $30 and didn't play. And, I asked my mom for guitar lessons, and she said, well, I've heard that if you play guitar, you have these hard calluses on the tips of your fingers. So until you have those, I'm not going to give you, take you to guitar lessons. And so I locked myself in my room for 3 days. And when I came out, I walked up to her and I stuck my fingers in her face and I said, I have calluses. Can I have my lessons now?
How did you get the calluses? What did you do?
I played it. I played the guitar.
So you played the guitar. She wouldn't buy the guitar or the lessons.
She wouldn't buy the lessons.
So
I went and took that guitar into my room, and for 3 days, I didn't come out for 3 days. And I played it for 3 days, and I came out. I said, there, can I have him now? And she went, let's go sign you up for guitar lessons.
Yeah, that's dedication right there.
Well, she got that I took it seriously, and so I went and got guitar lessons. And a couple weeks later, I went and sang on an open mic, sang a couple of songs that I wrote, and some random strangers walked up and said, hey, what do you want to do with your life? And I went, be an opera singer or a bullfighter? What about you? They were like, we want to give you a bunch of money to go make an album. And I was like, my parents told me not to talk to strangers, so I'm going to have to go. And they ended up being these incredible folks that wanted to start me off on a music career. And we had no idea what we were doing. It was like truly a family escapade into this incredible studio.
So everyone went to the studio.
Yeah. And my dad, my mom, and I mean, this is how bad it was. We walk in, and Shannon Davidson, the amazing guy at Bridge Studios, I mean, it was an incredible experience. Very professional, goes, okay, let's lay your guitar down first. Not realizing that I had no idea what I was doing. And I took off my guitar and I laid it down on the floor. And he just kind of looked at me, and Shannon's such a sweet guy. He just kind of looks at me and goes, okay. And you could just see it in his brain going, oh God, this is going to be a lot of work. And it was so bad. And it did take a lot of work. At the time, I was 14, and some pretty bad things had happened in my life before then. And I didn't realize that I was dealing with PTSDs and that I was dealing with a lot of trauma. And I kept getting sick in the studio. We couldn't figure it out. I mean, my mom shoved more honey and green tea down my throat trying to, I think my dad even at one point goes, okay, just have a little thing of whiskey. Like, let's just see if it helps your throat. Like, let's make you a hot toddy. Like, what is going on? And it was a really weird experience not knowing what you're doing, to be stressed out about being sick. But then I listened back on that album and I go, oh my God, I was a baby. Like, and I thought I was so grown up. I really did. At 14, I was like, no, it was serious business. And it ended up being so much fun. It really did. It was very eye-opening. But
Was it an operatic album?
No, if I listen to it now, quite frankly, I feel like it's kind of waily. I'm like wailing on it. But I also was a little girl and I kind of had no idea what I was really doing with my voice. And I had that kind of opera side of things. Mm-hmm. And then I'm writing songs and I'm listening to all these old country albums. And it was kind of a weird combination. And I had a lot of ballads on there, but then like there was a couple of songs that I wanted electric guitar on. And at the time in cowboy music, it was like, oh my God, you have drums on an album in the cowboy music world? Are you kidding? No, you can't do that. And I was like, well, no, I want it to be like Nickelback, but for cowboys. And Nickelback was huge at the time, like 2007. Oh my God. And Chad Kroeger was like, the epitome of cool. It was so awesome. And Shannon just kind of goes, okay, cool. Like, let's roll with it. And we did. We made like this cowboy kind of rock ballad album. And sometimes I kind of wish we had known what we were doing a little bit more. And I say we because it was my mom, my dad, and Shannon and Nate White, this incredible guitarist that came in and just went, okay, this is what you want. We're going to do it.
Right.
And we had no idea what we were doing.
But that's how you learn. That's how you figure out what you want to do, is just by doing something.
Yeah.
And doing it in a way that you may realize was completely wrong.
But it was kind of right.
Yeah.
At the same time. Because it was the true, authentic 14-year-old girl that had no idea what she was doing. It wasn't like there was a team of people saying, here's how you do this. It was like, do I sing now? Do I sing later? Like, what do I do? I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, man. Are you still an opera fan?
I am. I'm a huge opera fan, actually. And I've really gotten into a lot more, like, musical theater in the last little while. Like listening to Hamilton and stuff like that. And I'm really YouTube is a real rabbit trail for me. It's really, I love the passion that people put into their performances on that. And I love... They're not stoic. They're emotional. I love it when people are emotional and we let out feelings, because I grew up in a family where it's like, okay, you want to cry, you definitely don't cry. Like, you're hurting, you don't say anything. You're frustrated, you don't say anything. And so for music, it was like, oh, no, there's no holds barred. Like, we're able to be anything we want with music. It's kind of freeing.
Wow. Adrian Brannan is here. Adrian, I got one quick question for you regarding opera. Do you know the difference between an Italian opera and a German opera?
Oh my gosh, no. Tell me.
In an Italian opera, the heroine always dies. In a German opera, everyone dies.
Okay, that was beautiful. I'm going to need to write that down so I can remember that one.
Adrian Brannan is front of house. Let's hear another song. I'm loving this.
Oh my God. This is called Queen of the Trailer Park. And it kind of originated from the fact that I discovered that you could get custom leopard print wallpaper. And I was living in a broken down single wide on a ranch at the time, writing music. And I sat there when I got a disco ball, three pink flamingos, and leopard print fuzzy wallpaper on a ranch. Huh. Classy. Live in a leopard print red line, 1960 single wide, with a closet full of lacy things and a cupboard for booze to hide. Well, I'm the queen of the trailer park, nothing to lose, everything to gain. And if you show up in time, we'll dance to electric rodeo. I've got a shotgun by the door. Daddy taught me how to use. Sit in church on Sunday, cross the legs in the pews. trailer park. I'm just running from the Lord. Well, I shoot pool on Saturday nights down at the Tiki Hut. I show them boys how to make them holes you can look, but you can't touch. They say my jeans feel a little tight, but I've got nothing to hide. Well, I'm the queen of the trailer park, ruling from my single wide. I've got a shotgun by the door. Daddy taught me how to use. Sit in church on Sunday, cross the legs in the pew, and Merlin Hank serenade me when I'm strumming my guitar. Yeah, I'm the queen of the trailer park. I'm just running from the Lord. A tattoo a day, well, it keeps them housewives away. And whiskey pills and living hard for my only mistakes. Sitting here in my cowboy boots in an old cast iron tub, well, you know my mama said it would end this way if I ever settled on love. But I live in leopard print, red line, 1960 single wide, with a closet full of lacy things and a cupboard for booze to hide. Well, I'm the queen of the trailer park, nothing to lose, everything to gain. And if you show up in time, we just might dance to Electric Rodeo.
That's what you call a hit, ladies and gentlemen. What's the name of that song?
It's Queen of the Trailer Park.
That's a fucking gold record.
It was so bad too. That trailer that I was in, it had this like 1970s green, you know, the green chair in it, and then it had the orange carpeting, and the shag carpet where you could lose like a little sister in it. I mean, it was so tall, it was crazy, and just I'm peeling wallpaper. It was an album waiting to happen.
Have you ever described a hangover as I'm feeling Merle Haggard today?
No, I just discovered hangovers this past year, literally.
Oh, welcome to the party.
Oh my God, it's horrible. I had no idea what people went through. It's like I've always kind of laughed at people when they had hangovers, like, oh, I'm sorry, does the light bother you? And then a while ago I went, oh, this is so not cool. Okay. I have to go buy sunglasses.
How long ago was your first hangover?
It would have been last year. Wow. And I'm 27 now. I turned 27 in January. Okay. God, I'm so old.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
3 months late.
So old. It's really weird. It's super, because I still think of myself as being like 14.
Okay.
Really? And so the hangover was a bit of a surprise. It's like, no, I'm not a kid anymore. Darn.
I'm 45 and I still think of myself as 25.
Yeah, see.
And it's all good until you decide you're going to jump off a roof.
It's all good until you decide to be that age. Yeah. And then it's like,
and then you're hurt.
This is an impossibility now. Right. This is not good. Yeah, I drink more coffee than anything now.
Okay.
And Advil is my friend.
I'll tell you, if you have the access, the best hangover cure in the world is what me and my friends call the trifecta.
Oh, God.
You start out you have to have access to these things.
Okay, lay it on me.
When I lived in Santa Barbara for 15 years, and I rented an apartment across from Shoreline, and we had a sauna and a hot tub and a pool.
Ooh.
And that's how you do it in that order.
Oh, you're doing a sweat lodge.
Sit in the sauna for 45 minutes, hour and a half, as hot as it'll get until every single pore opens up. Then you jump into the hot tub, and that's warm water, and that's like a rinse.
And then you go
and
shock
really
your
gross
system.
For all the other people who are going in the hot tub. But, it was a well-maintained pool, and they chlorinated it every day. So, yeah, just don't go in that day.
Okay.
And then you jump in the swimming pool, and your skin just goes shh.
You shock your system.
You feel it.
Ooh.
Everything just goes shh. closes up inside and you're ready to party again.
See,
that's the hangover cure.
See, maybe the reason I've never had a hangover is because, so this last year I lived in an off-grid cabin about 2 hours to the nearest road in Utah wilderness, and no running water, no power, nothing. And the only way to bathe was in the river. And so sweat lodges are a very healthy thing. So I made a willow sweat lodge. You just, do willow branches and then cover it with tarps and buffalo robes, and then you sweat it out, and then you go jump in the river. It was like...
That's like The Revenant.
Oh, no, The Revenant. Leonardo DiCaprio called me for ideas. No.
Seriously.
No, but seriously, I mean, it is the greatest thing, and I only got sick once last year, and I truly attest it to using that sweat lodge. It's really good for you. And people down through the ages have done it. I mean,
right.
It's really good for our system. You had some willow bark tea and whoo!
Adrian Brannan is our guest. The new record called Desert Dwellin' Mama. Welcome back, friends and neighbors, to Front of House in Los Angeles, California. Recorded live at the North Hollywood Hideout. Our guest, once again, Adrian Brannan.
Sun sinking low, a cool breeze blows here. Let me air you back. You dip your head, the water's cool, and it's home again. My old bay friend. You carried my gal when she was young. Now brown children call you friend. They climb around and pull your ears, and you cock a hip and dip your head, my old bay friend. No meet again. Carry me back to the winds of time and yesterday when an old man was still young and you were just a little bronchi. Carry me back to the times of yesterday, to young bodies, wild hearts, and not caring. Look at us now, we're both old and broken down, my old bay friend. I know we'll meet again. You followed me out Wyoming way, Oregon, and Idaho. The terrain, it took a while, but boy, we won us some shows, my old bay friend. I know we'll meet again. Wire cuts busted and bruised, shaken, wasted, nothing to lose. Things have changed, oh, but some will stay the same. Carry me back to the winds of time and yesterday when an old man was still young and you were just a little bronchi. Carry me back to the times of yesterday, to young bodies, wild hearts, and not caring. Look at us now, both old and broken down, my old bay friend. I know we'll meet again. I miss the wind and the watering holes, wild brush busted and rodeos, and a sweet small town girl who became my whole world. Couldn't count all the miles we've trotted, the cows we've roped in circles allotted back when we were young. look at us now. We're both old and broken down. My old bay friend, I know we'll meet again. My old bay friend, I know we'll meet again.
Adrian Brannan is front of house. Adrian, there's so much substance to your songwriting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't believe in bubblegum. I hate that.
Wow.
I really hate it.
I mean, I could sit here and just listen to you sing and play guitar, and you could sing about bubblegum and lollipops, and it'd be just fine.
I got a jar of M&M's on my floor. My toes have pain. No.
Right. But there's so much more to it. I mean, and we're talking... I blame everything on science. So there's a science to songwriting.
Absolutely.
And the songs build when they need to. They dissipate at the right time. There's the right amount of silence. There's the right amount of breath.
Oh, really?
And you give me a bridge every time I need to cross a river.
I didn't always do that. Sometimes I left you hanging and made you swim across it.
Really?
Highway 80, the first album when I was 14, I was so ensconced in Bob Dylan that I literally just was like, life is a ballad. Let's sing Hurricane over and over and over again. I was 8 when I discovered him, and it was like, I'm going to just write ballads all the time. And there was no, don't bore us, get to the chorus. There was just like, no, I will tell you a story, and you will sit down and you will listen. Yeah. And 7 minutes later, it'll all be over. So that's actually kind of a recent thing. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know when it happened. It wasn't orchestrated at all. It just kind of was like, oh God, no, that needs something there. Like, I got to go somewhere with it. I hate it when songs don't go anywhere. They got to, like, we're on a trip. Take me somewhere.
Don't bore us, get to the chorus. That's so Nashville cliche.
It's so true. It's so true. Everybody's like, you got to get to that chorus really quickly. And I'm like, wait, you guys think about how you write, really?
But there's a serious catch and release to your songs. Throughout the whole thing, it's just bringing you in and then giving you a little rope, and then I'm bringing you back.
It's called sliding your dallies when you rope horseback.
Okay.
So if you rope with riata, which is a rawhide rope that you make out of another cowhide, it'll break if you don't slide your dallies. So you give a little bit to the cow, and then you shorten up, which means you collect some of that rope and you get close to her, and then you let out a little bit so that it's easy on everybody. Should kind of be the same way with the song.
That's perfect. That is just so perfect.
It all comes back to roping and cows.
Interesting story. You were talking about Highway 80. That was not that song, right? Was that
no,
that song? Okay.
That is a song called My Old Bay Friend, and that's actually on the new album.
I wanted to ask you, My Old Bay Friend.
Yes.
What do you mean, bay?
So bay is a color. It's a brown horse, basically.
Thank God.
My dad always has called horses brown horses. It doesn't matter if they're paint, if they're white, if they're palomino, if they're red, if they're black. It's a brown horse.
Okay.
Like, literally, it's one of those weird things. He'd be like, go catch that brown horse. And you look out in the pasture, and there's like 1,200 brown horses out there. And you go, which one? He goes, oh, the little brown one. It's like, I know I'm being set up here. Like, this is not cool, Dad. But I had this little brown horse when I was a kid. And it was the first horse my sister ever started. And my sister is this incredible horsewoman. She's amazing. She's my hero. She's big sister. And she just did a terrible job with the snow. She did a great job starting this horse. And we're such horrible horsemen at the time. We didn't know what we were doing. We're kids. We just probably ruined him. And he never would have won any competitions for how he looked. He kind of looked like he was put together spare parts. Like, whoever created him went, all right, there's a giraffe part, and there's an elephant part, and there's a cow part, and there's a horse part. And we're going to call you Skipper W. But he was this really huge part of my childhood. And I used to live in a 14-foot teepee, a traditional lodge.
Outside of Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, and my family had property, and so I basically moved out of the house. I think I was 9 or 10 when I bought the teepee, sold a bunch of puppies and bought the teepee. And Well, traditionally, this lodge would have been hauled by a horse. So I hooked up the poles to this horse. My mom will forever tell the story of looking out the front window and seeing me. She says it looked like a helicopter. And this horse, he's got two 20-foot poles on either side of him, and he's just spinning around and around. And I'm going, no, it'll be okay. Really, trust me. I've never done this before, but it'll be okay. And he turned out to be this great horse that, you could rope off of, and he hauled that teepee around for years for me. And he was my buddy. And you don't get very many of those. It's like... Yeah. It's like that equine relationship that you find. You don't get that a lot, especially if you're as terrible of a horsewoman as I am. Like, they look at you and go, oh, hell no, and run the other way. But
I just realized that song was about a horse.
Really?
It just
Really?
clicked right now.
I love that because he was my buddy, and so you didn't get the connection that he was a horse.
No, that was a love song to me.
That's so,
I just had that moment.
Really?
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was about a horse. Cappuccino.
It's like when you look at the FedEx logo and you see an arrow in it for the first time.
There's an arrow in the FedEx?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, I've never noticed that before.
I just realized that song was about a horse.
We both had
that
serious
so
revelations
right
now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to go find a FedEx
years
truck.
Old.
Oh, that's so bad.
Adrian Brannan is our guest, front of house. So much I want to keep talking about, but the reason why people listen to this show is for the music mainly, and we broadcast in stereo, play it loud and proud, crank this up, rip the knob off. Let's hear another song, my dear.
All right. This is a song called 100 Pounds, and it's an older song, but it's about the lady bronc riders of the Old West. It's about women who broke the rules and didn't listen to boundaries and wore pants and, went and rode bucking horses in a rodeo with men and exhibition broncs and were tough and wore bows in their hair when they did it. And I just love that. You're 100 pounds. You're under slungs. Well, you're 100 pounds and you're bronc busting bounds. You're 100 pounds. You're under slums. You're broke built in your Montana peaked hats. Haven't run aground, shout the sounds of freedom on and outlaws back. Let her buck gals grab some mane and tear some hair. Let her buck gals. This one ain't getting anywhere. Oh, let her buck gals. This life ain't dead yet. Let her buck gals. You just spur 'em in the neck. Bonnie, Vera, Rose, and Kate, Mabel, Bertha, and Lulu. You paved the old dirt road for girls like me these days when you're raised in the wild from a child, grown into a tough little woman riding anything that moves. Well, it ain't hard to understand. She can't quit the hard rough life, but when the years claim her bones, Bronx claim her life, she'll live on in our songs and the way we live our lives. So let her buck girls grab some mane and tear some hair. Let her buck girls. This one ain't getting anywhere. Oh, let her buck girls. This life ain't dead yet. Let her buck gals, you just spur 'em in the neck. You gals were ladies then, my things have changed. I wanna ride the wind and I wanna rope crazy ideas. And they say think before you jump, but that first pitch out of the chute and their disapproval makes me grab my rope and stake. So let her buck gals grab some mane gals, you just spur 'em in the neck. You're 100 pounds, you're underslungs. We're 100 pounds in your bronc busting belts.
Well, I want to hear another song, and I know everybody else does too. Again, the website is buckaroogirl.com. That's where you're going to find Adrian Brannan. But right now, shut your mouth and turn up your ears. Adrian Brannan is front of house.
Patsy is always the answer when you walk by with her. My late nights and empty bottles serenaded by vinyls. She speaks of love and broken hearts and all of the things you and I are not. And then the end of the record comes, and I turn it over before it's done. And I fall to pieces each time I hear your name. And I fall to pieces. How can I ever be the same? And you tell him, Klein, I'm telling you, no man ever paid me no mind till I heard Dolly, Loretta, Emmylou, and you. Well, that feeling when I'm lonesome, that feeling when he's gone, that feeling when the rain comes, you are never home. And I fall to pieces each time I hear your name. And I fall to pieces. How can I ever be the same? Falling all to pieces, I'm falling all apart. Of a man that loved two women, but if he'd take my hand, well, I'd sell all my records to keep yours for the shelf, and take it out one day when we're old and by ourselves. And I fall to pieces each time I hear your name. And I fall to pieces. How can I ever be the same? Ladies stick together, and I'm on the losing end of a man that loved two women. But if you take my hand and say you're my saving grace, I wish I could say it to your face. Patsy is always the answer when you walk by with her. Did a love song to a bay horse, now I did a love song to a woman who's been gone way too long.
Adrian Brannan is front of house. We've got quite a bit of ground I really want to cover in this interview. I fear that we're not going to have enough time. So let's just talk really, really quick about your merchandise.
Ooh.
I looked at your website. Again, it's buckaroogirl.com. And you got a trucker hat that says Bronx Babes Burritos.
Yeah, they're the 3 best things in life.
Those are the 3 Bs.
Literally, the 3 Bs. Like, those are the essentials in life to me.
What's your favorite kind of burrito?
Asada burrito from the truck in Williams, California, at the bottom of the hill from the ranch that we used to live at.
Nice.
Cilantro, onions, red onions, and white onions. A little bit of guacamole in there. Asada. Squeeze a lime on it. Yeah, it's just perfection. It's all bow to the burrito.
I can't remember the place, but there was this place in Santa Barbara that I always went to. I don't remember the name, but they would, in Santa Barbara, Ventura, in the Southern California area, they make burritos the size of small children.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I would always do is go to this one particular place.
Okay.
And I would say, I want the wet burrito, but I'd want to make it chimichanga style. So they would have to put a burrito the size of a child into a full-on drainage rack into the oil and deep fry that motherfucker and then cover it with sauce. But then it's a very, very close second, and this place doesn't exist anymore. Both of these places. A breakfast burrito at the Cantina in Isla Vista, or just a regular child-sized chicken burrito.
Child-sized.
From our favorite place was Tio Alberto's, Uncle Albert's in Isla Vista. But the greatest thing about Southern California is all the great burritos.
The food, you can stop at any corner and just have heaven in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. And a big rule that I like to tell people, a lot of people go for the place that's got the real flashy on the outside, lots of neon.
Go for grungy. Go for
the place
grungy.
that looks the worst on the outside.
Because the inside's going to be just absolute joy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's science. Why are they open? How are these people in business? Their front of their business looks like crap. What the fuck is that? Exactly.
Because
go
people
there
know.
And eat.
Yeah. I always follow like the dudes that look like they work outside, that got boots on.
Find out where
I follow them like, okay, follow the ant trail. Where are they going? I'm going to find where the end of this rainbow is because I know they know where the good lunch places are. Because people who work outside, you're not going to let yourself have a bad lunch break because that's joy in the middle of the day when you've been outside working.
And if you're spending money on a burrito, which these days burrito inflation. I mean, let's talk about burrito economics.
I've seen it used to be
they've skyrocketed
$3 to $4. I'm seeing $6 and $7 now.
Exactly, $3.95 used to be that was standard burrito price. Now we're at $6.95.
$6.95 for a small child burrito.
That is a 100% increase in the cost of burritos. Well, it's like 85, but still.
But let's look at the other side. I mean, what is your joy factor percentage on the other side of that?
Well,
how much joy?
It certainly isn't 85% more than it was 10 years ago. It's the same amount of joy, which is very joyous.
See, I'll even give up like maybe one coffee a week to give to the burrito fund because
you have a burrito fund too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Asada is life. We must protect it.
Put that on a t-shirt. Let's talk more about the merch because I was looking at your merch here and you were telling me a story earlier.
Oh, gosh.
About a piece of merchandise. And I love this. I love this piece of merch because it's just very in your face. Fuck you, deal with it. Let's start a conversation type of merch, which everybody seems to say we need to have a whole bunch of conversations. Well, you made a hat. It's a red hat, and it says "Make America Cowboy."
Oh yeah.
Again.
Oh yeah. It's
tongue in cheek. Tell me. Let's talk.
It's a conversation starter. It's hilarious. It's actually funny because now it's getting ripped off by boutiques. I mean, the world wide over. And I swear I won't name them, but lady in Texas, you know who you are. It's hilarious. They blew up the past couple of years, and I thought it was freaking hilarious. I thought it was it made me giggle. And if things make me giggle, I want the rest of the world to giggle too. I was in a Starbucks the other day though, and I was wearing one of our new hoodies. It says "Make America Cowboy Again" right across the chest. And these two guys just walk over, and they're like in their mid-50s probably. And I have my computer. I sat down. I got a cup of coffee. I'm going to go to work. We'd been moving cows and stuff, and there's no internet at the ranch. So I went to the Starbucks to go and use the internet so that I could do my work, because I'm running a business as well. You don't just get to go, roam the prairies horseback.
Right.
You got to, take care of business as well.
Right.
And I go sit down, and these two men proceed to scream at me for almost 2 minutes. I mean, raise voices. The entire Starbucks goes quiet. A couple of guys stand up, like they're kind of going, okay, shoot, what do we do? Do we help her? Do we grab, and I just kind of sat there and smiled and waited it out. And, they got done, and it was like, sir, read the sweater. And he kind of awkwardly stares at my chest for about 5 seconds, turns bright red, looks up at me and goes, oh, can we buy your coffee? No, you may not buy my freaking coffee. You can leave. You just screamed at me. Yeah, you just screamed at me for almost 2 minutes. No. And it was like such a funny moment for me, because I've had people tell me they've worn the hat and they've been screamed at. I have too. In my post office, I was wearing it in Ventura, and this woman comes up to me and and it was, well, there was a lot of political, shall we say, turmoil happening. And she comes up to me and she just, gets in my face and goes, you are the freaking problem with this country.
Oh, fuck off.
And I finally, and she was probably, late 40s, early 50s, something like that. And it was like, okay, I get having ideas and beliefs that you stick to, but I also believe in being not a shitty person. Get out of my face. But it's so funny because people won't read it. They'll just see it's red and white. Oh, there's that make word in there. I'm going to come exactly. And it's so funny for me because I'm like, I'm the goddess of Discord. This is so funny. Did you really just scream at a 20-something-year-old woman at a Starbucks for 2 minutes?
You always have the last word.
Always, because it's read the shirt.
They have nothing else to say after that.
No, and it's so, because it is how you take it. Literally, to me, it is how you take it. Whatever you want to make of it, that's what it is. It's a funny slogan, and I get a kick out of it, and I love seeing it. I love seeing it around. I've been driving before and seen people driving towards me on ranch roads wearing it, and I don't know the people, and it's like
they're wearing your hat.
Yeah, and I've seen it all over the country, and I've seen pictures of it. And during the Thomas fire, a bunch of my merch got out because my parents' house caught on fire.
Oh,
no. And, if you ever get a chance, don't let your house burn down. It's not cool. It's not a good idea. But this box of hats flew out of the garage where they were being stored at the time. And 4 months after December 4th, 4 months after, people were finding Make America Cowboy Again hats around Ventura and were wearing them. And I was seeing it tagged on Instagram and Facebook. And it was like, well, we're making Ventura a cowboy again, I guess. It has a way of getting out there. I think it's doing it itself now.
Have you spoken to people have you come across someone face to face who's been wearing your hat?
Oh, yeah.
And they've got it from the Thomas fire?
I've talked to 2 people on Instagram that got them rolling around town on a road.
Oh my God.
And picked it up and wore it. And so this woman tagged it and thought it was hilarious.
I found this on Main Street in front of the old Hells Angels clubhouse.
Oh God, she found it up above on Victoria, and it had blown out, and she picked it up, and it was like, did you pick that up in Ventura? Because I didn't know, the person had no, cowboy things in common. I was like, who is this person? She was like, I found it on Victoria. And it was like, thank you, Thomas Fire, for spreading the word. Oh my God.
Wow. Adrian Brannan, today has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Sharing this time with you. It's enlightening.
I've had a blast.
And fully entertaining.
Oh, well, good.
Everything about it. I could just listen to you play and talk forever. Unfortunately, we don't have forever for this show. So I just want to get out some plugs really quick. Once again, the website is called buckaroogirl.com. Go there. You can get these cool Make America Cowboy Again merchandise items. Also, the Bronx Babes and Burritos. I need that hat.
I actually have one in the car for you.
I'm buying it.
No, you're not. I'm bringing it in here, man. So
Again?
long as you wear it when you go and buy a burrito,
I will
I'll be
fucking
happy.
wear it every day of my life.
And I want a picture of it in front of a burrito taco truck.
You know what?
That's the only stipulation here. Is that
How about I get on a horse with a chick next to me and I'm eating a burrito?
actually?
So we got it all.
Let's do the new album cover, man. Like, let's go do it.
Let's go do
Let's
this.
go do it. Let's go.
I love this. Also, you can pick up Adrian's records at the website there. As I always tell everybody, Spotify and Amazon Music and streaming shit, that's all cool. That's all great. But if you really want to support the art, please go to the artist's website and buy the record there. It's the only way the artist gets paid. So buckaroogirl.com. Hey, Adrian, we got time for one more song. What are you going to take us home with?
Awesome. I'm going to take you home with a song called Fall For Me.
Let's hear it.
All right. My mind is set on you. My heart is too. And when you looked my way and the laughter shine in your eyes, I should have known all along you were in it for a song. But I want to know what gets to you. I want to make you mine. Open up, let me in. Hold my hand, lift my chin, and kiss me like I'm alive, like you're dying, like I'm all you need. Won't you just fall for me? You are all I want. I know I could be all yours if you just let love go on and take its course. You know I'd go with you if you asked me to. The road is long and it is hard. I will hang on, carry on if you're there on along. Open up, let me in. Hold my hand, lift my chin, and kiss me like I'm alive, like you're dying, like I'm all you need. Won't you just fall for me? If we could count the miles, meet in the space between, I'd throw away my map, and I'd hand you the keys. Let you lead me home. We'll drive along. Hold me so close and never let go. Open up, let me in. Hold my hand, lift my chin, and too. And when you looked my way and the laughter shined in your eyes.